Now, Marius Nicolescu is a resident of Brussels. We've reached him at his home live. Marius, what has life been like for you these last couple of days under lockdown?
Good morning. It's quite a bleak atmosphere here. It's a very different Brussels from what we're used to. I was a little bit out and about last night, and probably a quarter or less than that of what would you expect on a Saturday night. We're out, also heavy police and army presence throughout the city center. It's as you said, it's a city in lockdown, and it's not happened before in Belgium, so we're coping with it. It's weekend now, and it's very interesting to see what will happen, of course, tomorrow.
How do you feel being there?
It feels, I think we've all went through a very large array of emotions these last few days since Friday's Paris attacks. Right now, I think it's just a combination of a little bit of panic and not knowing what's next. And you know, every time you're out and let's say you hear a noise or something, you look twice. You would notice things, let's say, that we wouldn't notice before. It's a little bit scary from that point of view, especially living in Western Europe where these kinds of things don't normally happen.
Mm-hmm. And we're waiting to hear what could happen, if this alert will be lifted or not. But how does that impact you looking ahead to tomorrow, to the work week?
Looking to the work week, of course, for many of us who do use public transportation to go to work, that's going to be the main issue. I also work in the suburb of Molenbeek, where the one of the attackers is from, and so for us it's been since last week quite an interesting period. I think now everything should. We are going to work tomorrow, even if the public transport doesn't work, unless we know something else.
Yeah, tell us more about that suburb, Molenbeek. How does it feel to know that that one of those attackers came from that neighborhood where you were?
Well, with Molenbeek, I've been working there for about 1 year, and it does have a reputation in Brussels for being one of the less safe neighborhoods to be in. It's going through a very slow process of gentrification, let's say, in the last few years, but not to the point where it's still a very safe neighborhood. So going there, even to work, again, like the rest of Brussels, I think everybody is being more cautious than we usually would be.
And how do you digest the news, Marius? You know, there's criticism about police not maintaining the intelligence on these suspects or sharing information. What is it like for you as a resident?
As a resident, I think we've been complaining, us residents, for a long time, the fact that Brussels is split into 19 communes, 19 areas with different city halls and different police departments. So they don't communicate with each other. And I think that's a trait of Belgium in general, the lack of communication between the different departments of whatever it is. So these kinds of changes, of course, have to be done on a federal and then local level. Given the way the Belgium is split up between the Flemish-speaking and the French-speaking, and the fact that we have 7 governments, it's really difficult to be able to have a, let's say, a coordinated effort. But I think in this case now, given the latest developments, this might be the first step towards that finally happening.
And your country getting this reputation of possibly being a hotbed for terrorism. You know, there's reports that more than 500 Belgians have fought in Iraq or Syria for ISIS. How does that feel? Yeah, that is, I think that's the most disconcerting feeling that we have here, because I think for many of us, I come from the expat community. I'm originally from Romania. We still look at Belgium as, you know, a Western country where everything should be a bit more organized than this. So to find out that we have the largest amount of ISIS fighters per capita in Europe, it's a little bit scary in that regard. And again, it comes from the fact that it's one of the safest places for terrorists, let's say, because of the lack of communication between the police inside the country. Well, we wish you all the best, Marius, and thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thank you as well.
That is Marius Nicolescu joining us from Brussels.